Two people get hired on the same day, for the same job, at the same company, for the exact same salary. $95,000 a year. 5 years later, one of them has $80,000 in savings and zero debt. The other one has $80,000 in debt and zero savings. Same income, same paycheck, same 5 years. A $160,000 gap between them. So what actually happened? Because it wasn't luck, and it wasn't one of them working a secret side hustle. The answer is something almost nobody gets taught, and by the end of this video, you'll probably recognize yourself in one of these two people. Here's the thing that trips up almost everyone chasing more money. We've all been sold the idea that the problem is the number on the paycheck. Get promoted, get a raise, get a better job, and the money problems disappear. But talk to enough people who make 6 figures and still feel broke, and you start noticing something strange. The income went up. The stress didn't go down. If anything, it got worse, because now there's more money moving through their hands, and somehow still nothing left at the end of the month. That's not a coincidence. It's a pattern. And it has almost nothing to do with how much you earn, and everything to do with 3 invisible decisions your brain makes without you noticing. Let's call our two people Maya and Ryan. Same starting line. Let's watch where they split. Month 1, new job, $95,000 salary. Maya and Ryan both go from making $60,000 to $95,000, a $35,000 jump. Ryan's first move. He upgrades. New apartment, nicer part of town, $400 more a month. New car, because the old one doesn't match the new job. A few nice dinners out, because he earned it. None of these decisions feel reckless in the moment. Each one is small, reasonable, justifiable. Maya's first move. She keeps living almost exactly like she did before. Same apartment, same car. She lets her lifestyle sit still while her income moves. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's the single biggest reason raises disappear. Every time income goes up, spending quietly rises to meet it, until the gap between the two, the part that was supposed to become savings, shrinks back down to nothing. Here's what makes it dangerous. It doesn't feel like overspending, it feels like upgrading. Ryan isn't buying anything crazy, he's just living like someone who makes $95,000 finally should. That's the trap. The lifestyle expands exactly as fast as the income does, so the bank balance never catches up. 2 years in, both of them get a $6,000 tax refund. Ryan treats it like a bonus, free money that showed up out of nowhere. He books a trip. It's gone in 3 weeks. Maya treats it exactly like her paycheck, money that already belongs to a plan. Half goes straight into savings, half pays down a credit card balance she's been chipping at. This is called mental accounting, the brain's habit of treating money differently depending on where it came from, instead of treating every dollar the same. A tax refund gets spent like a windfall. A birthday gift gets spent like extra. A paycheck gets spent like income. But it's all identical. It's all just money. The moment you start mentally labeling some dollars as serious and others as fun, you've created a leak. And leaks like that, repeated enough times a year, add up to thousands. Maya doesn't have some rare gift for discipline. She just made one rule early and stuck to it. Money is money, no matter what envelope it arrives in. 3 years in, Ryan gets a promotion. $115,000 now. He feels, for the first time, genuinely wealthy. He tells friends he's made it. But here's the uncomfortable truth hiding under that feeling. Income is not wealth. Income is what flows through your hands. Wealth is what's left standing after it flows through. You can make $200,000 a year and have a negative net worth. You can make $50,000 a year and be a millionaire by 50. The number on the paycheck tells you almost nothing about where you'll end up. It only tells you how much opportunity you had to work with. Ryan believed the myth, more income equals more wealth, automatically, like it's a law of physics. So instead of asking, "Where is this money going?" he stopped asking the question at all, because on paper, he was doing great. Maya never made that mistake. Every raise she got, she asked the same question first. Does my life need to change, or does my future need to get bigger? Most of the time, she chose the second one. By year 5, the gap is no longer invisible. Ryan, $95,000 start, now earning $115,000 and $80,000 in debt. Car loan, credit cards, a home renovation he financed instead of saved for. He's making more than he's ever made in his life, and he's never felt more financially trapped. Every raise gets absorbed before it lands. He's not lazy. He's not reckless by nature. He just never noticed the water rising around him, one small upgrade at a time. Maya, same $95,000 start, now earning $108,000. A smaller raise trajectory, but $80,000 saved and zero debt. She's not living a smaller life out of deprivation. She still travels. She still enjoys her money. The difference is she decided in advance where it would go, instead of letting it decide for her. Same starting salary, same 5 years. A $160,000 swing between them, and neither of them would say it came down to willpower. It came down to whether the money had a job to do before it landed in their account. This is the part almost nobody wants to hear. The economy isn't rigged against a person who makes $95,000 a year. It's rigged against a person who has no plan for the money the moment it arrives. Because in that gap, lifestyle inflation, mental accounting, and the income equals wealth myth move in and quietly make the decisions for you. The good news is exactly what makes it good. None of these 3 things require you to earn more. They just require you to notice them before your lifestyle does. Maya and Ryan started in the exact same place. 5 years later, one of them has options, and one of them has obligations. The paycheck was never the deciding factor. The decisions made in the 30 seconds after it landed were. So the real question isn't, why am I still broke even though I make good money? It's this: when your next raise lands, what's it going to become? A bigger life or a bigger future? You only get to pick one.